Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 10 main reasons you're plateauing in calisthenics and how to make sure you do not hit these plateaus in the future to guarantee progress no matter what level or what stage you're at in your journey. Let's get into it. The first reason that you're plateauing in your training and you can't progress anymore is because you're doing the same routine over and over again, and quite frankly, you've been doing it for way too long. Sometimes you guys need to change up your routine. In fact, I would recommend that you change your routine, or at least the structure of it, every 6 to 8 weeks in order to keep progressing. And this doesn't have to be changing the exercises. This can simply just be changing the structure of the workouts you do. The first way to do this is by changing the routine days. So maybe doing your pull day first instead of your pull day, or simply adding more rest days into your week in order to increase the chance of you building more strength and muscle. Or you could simply split up your skill days and your basic exercise days into different days, or you can combine them together if you've separated them to begin with. And if you're unsure on how to do that, you can always drop a question in the Calisthenics Academy. I'll leave a link in the description. This is a private community where you're gonna get access to me and private calls every single week. In fact, there's gonna be 2 weekly calls every single week, and you guys are already getting the benefits from that, some of you that have already joined. And if you haven't joined, then you're missing out on the calisthenics skills of your dreams, and quite frankly, you're stupid. The second reason that you're plateauing in your calisthenics training is because you haven't got a goal in mind. You're probably going to the gym, you're not even thinking about what you're doing really and how you're going to progress, and you're almost just praying that skills and movements fall into your lap. Well, let me tell you, Jeff, these skills are not going to fall into your lap if you don't plan and structure your workouts and your goals appropriately, making sure that you do enough every single week to be able to see that progress and advance. So make sure to plan your workout. And if you have no idea how to plan your workout, make sure to check out the last 2 videos I've made on my channel where I break down everything you need in your calisthenics routine, as well as the general timeline that you should be using in order to kind of discover and also to learn about what the time frame and timeline of calisthenics would be and would look like for you. That was a little bit of a ramble there, but you know what I'm trying to say. The third reason that you're not plateauing is because you're doing too much. You're probably working out nearly every single day, and quite frankly, you're gonna burn yourself out and you're not going to get enough rest. In calisthenics, you don't only need rest days to build that muscle back and build that strength back, but you also need those rest days in order to let your joints and your tendons rest, because they will take a beating in calisthenics compared to other exercises that you do. Calisthenics can be a little bit more demanding, especially on the joints and tendons, so you need to make sure that you're having adequate amounts of rest. I would recommend that you guys have at least 1 rest day where you do absolutely nothing. You can also take 2 to 3 more rest days if you really wanted to, working out 2 to 3 times a week, and you would still see progress. However, it might be a little bit slower for you compared to people who maybe work out 3 to 4 times a week on average. The fourth reason that you're not plateauing is because you need a deload week. So a deload week is essentially where you go lighter for 1 week, letting your body recover a little bit, but still progressing in ways maybe when it comes to technique and just bodily awareness, body control, and also mind-muscle connection, but you're not necessarily progressing on your strength, not quite yet anyway. You're letting your body recuperate, readjust, and frankly, get in that rest. But you guys need to make sure that you do have deload days and pretty much a deload week in your training, because it's gonna allow you to get that rest in, but you're still gonna be progressing, as I said. So if you're plateauing in your training, try and add a rest day into your routine and see how that does work. Fifth reason why you are plateauing is because your diet is shit. You're eating processed foods and you're not eating anything good really. Like, you're probably eating the bare minimum. You might be scraping your protein goals, or one day you might be getting your protein intake in, other days you might be way off. Diet is important to see benefits from your training. Your diet goes hand in hand with your training If you're not eating well, your training's not going to go well. You're not going to have the energy needed for the workout, and your results from the workouts are not going to be great. Once you clean up your diet, making sure that you have the right protein intake for you, your body, and your goals, and also making sure that your calories are at the best possible place for you in your training, you will see so much more success and you will blast past those plateaus. That was a little bit of a tongue twister. Reason number 6 is your mobility is terrible. You're not stretching, you're forgetting to do it, or you're just overlooking it completely, which is the biggest mistake you can make in calisthenics, especially if you want to progress to the intermediate and advanced levels. And I say this, or it feels like I say this nearly every video, but mobility is so important and you should never neglect it. Not working on mobility is going to limit the level you can get to in calisthenics, which is going to result in a plateau in your training, and you're never going to be able to learn the skills that you want. Even when it comes to things like learning the back lever, you need good shoulder mobility, and even when it comes to things like the L-sit, you're going to need good hamstring and hip flexibility to be able to do it. If you do need a stretching guide and you do need a mobility routine urgently, then I urge you to check out the link in my description to go to the Calisthenics Academy, which is my own community where you do have access to the 120-day challenge. Included in that are modules where you can get full mobility, stretching, and rehab routines to make sure you're keeping yourself on the right track in your calisthenics training. The next reason why you're plateauing and you're struggling to progress is because your ego is getting the better of you, okay? Drop the ego and leave it at the door, because you're trying to do too much too soon and you think you're at an advanced level when you're not. Not only are you going to plateau from doing this and you're never going to reach the skills that you want, but also you could risk injury too. So don't do it. The best way to not progress too soon is by following a structure and a timeline. And if you don't understand what the timeline of calisthenics should be, make sure you check out the last couple videos that I made on YouTube where I discuss the timeline and time frame of calisthenics and how you can progress at the level that's going to be sustainable for you. The 8th reason that you're plateauing in calisthenics is because you're not providing a different stimulus to your muscle. What is that, CRA? I don't understand what a different stimulus is. So providing a different stimulus to your muscle can simply be changing the progression, changing the variation of an exercise, or even adding some weight to your exercises. You need to think about changing the variations. So making sure that you either change the progression, as I said, or change the variations, such as going from regular push-ups to archer push-ups or just side-to-side push-ups to begin with, providing a different stimulus to your muscle, keeping it guessing and growing. A great thing that I love to implement into my students' programs is doing explosive training or paused reps. Paused reps feel like you're taking a step back in your training, but it can make you 2 times as strong. If you just stop at the bottom of your push-up rep for a second or two, or even at the bottom of your squat for a second or two, you can improve your strength drastically. And on the other side, if you start to add more explosive movements into your routine, you're going to be activating and building those fast twitch muscle fibers, which is going to create a different element of strength and power into your training you didn't have before. And also another cool thing, you can actually combine these two things as well. For instance, doing explosive negative pull-ups or explosive negative push-ups, where you explode up into the movement and you come down ultra slow. This is going to give you some next level strength. So definitely think about implementing this into your training if you haven't already. And I briefly mentioned it in number 8, but number 9 is going to include adding some weight to your training and your exercises. And this can be in slightly different ways. So it doesn't just have to be the generic weighted calisthenics where you can add weight with a weight belt or a weight vest to your push-ups, your pull-ups, your dips, your squats, whatever it could be. But also you can start to take away one limb to make it even harder. I don't mean sever your limb off literally. I mean simply just putting your hand behind your back and your arm behind your back, doing one arm push-ups, or taking away one arm for the one arm pull-up. You can gradually build up to this by changing the variations, as I said in point 8, that's why I put it there, by doing archer push-ups, building it up to the one-arm push-up, and doing archer pull-ups, building it up to the one-arm pull-up. This is such an underrated component of calisthenics, which is going to be essentially unilateral training one side of your body at a time. But once you learn to do this, you're going to actually provide a different stimulus to your muscle, and you're going to be able to learn skills that are going to get you super strong in your training. Not only is it going to get you super strong, but your bodily understanding, your bodily function, and your coordination and balance is going to skyrocket, because at this point you're likely going to be at that high intermediate to advanced level in your training, and so starting to do this is really going to get you to that next level. Number 10 of why you're struggling to progress in calisthenics and you're hitting plateaus is because you don't know when to progress. It's very easy to progress too soon, but it's also very easy to stay at the position you're in and never really have the confidence or the knowledge to know when to move forward. And don't get me wrong, I went through this same thing multiple different times. I didn't know when to progress in my calisthenics journey when I was just starting, and I didn't know whether I should. Admittedly, this is very hard with no experience in calisthenics, and I completely understand why you would be in this position. And that is why I made the Calisthenians Academy for you guys, where we can talk to each other about how we can progress and when to progress, knowing what to do at a certain point in your journey to guarantee successful adaptation and progress in your training. Because if you don't have a group of like-minded individuals that can help you succeed in your training, you're going to be losing out on serious gains and serious skill development. However, if you do want to see people progressing 3 times, 5 times, or 10 times as fast as you, and you're okay with failing time and time again, and some of you guys might actually still learn the skills over a certain amount of time, but it is going to take you a hell of a lot longer, just like it did with me. I wish I had a community like this one. Then, feel free to do that and be stupid, because the people that do want to win and the people that do want to improve in their calisthenics ability are going to take action in finding a group of like-minded people who all want to succeed in this sport. So if you're tired of being stupid and you want to join a group of people who want to see you succeed and also are going to help you get there, providing you with the right knowledge and education to do so, make sure you check out the link in the description. But that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, as always, make sure to like the video. Also, make sure to comment on what you guys want to see next from me on this channel. And do not forget to subscribe for videos every single week. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.